Great Viba swore all parties. 14 million rubles passed. I-axis VI is a roll. Everything is good? Yak B is not so, like Stephen Gokin. The great Vibuk I is skinned for them by their galaxies, Hornum deers, and perhaps by the great Silizatia. The Siogodny theory of the Perva Bashov, the fact of the law at all the Svithi Vini Buti Odnakovimi, and even more, all the same, you can still roar in a way. Our all-party is similar to the incontiguous fractal on a galley scale, Zed Mosakoya in the city of Kishenki. All parties in the skin for this podia, Trochi inakshin the Porivnyanya Susidnimi will flare up. Tilki Uyavit, in one parallel, all life on our planet is a Higansky asteroid. The blow of the Vil, the Earth. Viverzhnia Volkaniv, tsunami, we are not very welcome. I empty the Earth silently spin around Sansia. At the school of the All Gravitatia Jupitera cherry-picked our planet for the mazes of the sunny system, and the earth of the bag was frozen to fly after Milioni Rokiv's Temriava and cold at Nikudi. And perhaps here the dinosaurs swore a blow to the civilizatia, Zberigayuchi Namiranya Savtsev, and now Vaga. Foundation of the great vineyard brains. The U.S. right at once, the Poki and Vimite. Say is far from Adina's Theoria. Yak is given by the Snuvanya of the non-native village of Svidiv. But Hugh Everett has opened his own video of quantum mechanic. With her, the leatherette is Faxovia de facto new open all session Xvitu. Novi all the skin meaty of our life. Yaksho explained the simplex, Yakbivi crossed the channel, and did not finish video to this moment. Then in fact I would also say that at the parallel all Russia, according to the modern day before you, how to finish the video to the place. The Bielsch of the fact that it is important to take a look at the age of the legendary cat Schrödinger. Then to Viviar, what is immortal? Ajkit Yak Sporsterigak won all session to start grilling that in the Yakoi Vin for the Dear Vapakovist movement. Such a rank, quantum mechanica, multi-time yak, a bunch of Gigantsky fireworks. In this Skosakundi all the new and new spalaks are multiplied. I skinned for them, Novi all sesvit. After the singing, in the big years, our video was sold for them. Bo, yak they will. Most deed theory, I will say that all sesviti, in all the news laws and constants to be able to live with us, including us, our Isnuvanya to lay down on the lack of thin. It was obvious to us, and we were very obvious. Alyakshi's Mnishi Fundamentalny Zvishny Rechi, all to go, Andrei Lind, a member of the U.S. Academy of Sciences. But Yakbi Proton Booze all for two, anti-human and roiled on the bilsh of simple parts. Adamov is not at all union, I am us now. The second stock Yakshi, the power of heavy duty, Gravitatia cliched in the stars, the robots in the Garachisha and the Shilnisha. The idea of that, like the Sisnuveti, like the Moscow city, the Zirki were blasting with their mustache for the Dasilka Milyonev. I would like to go out if the life of Vinik B had a chance to get up. In order, the fundamental power of our all, Nalashtovani Yaknairuzvanya for the life. I am the theory of multivesvit. Fiziki will look at our star Svith Yak one in the evil years of the Svitiv. In the city of life and that constant Vipakovim rank, they baked the ministry of the Vinichenya life. Ale has a small theory of this kind. Billy and just empty that dark dead, In order, parallel Sviti with fantastic elves and Odinorgs hardly be able to sober up there. Aletsay is not accurate. Zreshtoy Yakshi let down the Isnavanya of life at the Wigliadzi of the forms that are not known to us, yak bodies, but between dark mothers, that will be called for other laws. You and all the flock are Nabagato Chikavish. But such a popular strain among the Fizitsi. String theory, this is how you directly use the power of the Isnuvanya multivesvit. In order to understand, to walk about the yak strings, just to understand the logical posturing. Be like fluvial to get stored by molecules from atoms protoniv, neutroniv, and electric, and T's quarks. I solve it. The theory of strings to speak, if the quarks are to fold with the crechitted rye threads of energy, yaki to play the strings. The skin of such strings is small nastia. Shoyak bi atambuv, then the string of the bula bi rosmir from the tree. So for itself, yakrizni kolivanya, the strings of the musical instrument to cut the music. Rizni will help to give some parts of the same power, that angry, given cob to the fundamental forces at the all. Gravitatsinum, electromagnetum, and other types of exchange. In the results of the mathematical rozrahunki of Joe Polchinski and Rafael Busso from Kalifornijski Universe Zyasovali, in the main Rijanas of the theory of strings, the Russian Astronomical Republic, Bilshnish 10, at the Tysak degree. The shield of the Vi could be close to the scale of the number. Nazvu vam adin fakt. The fact of atoms in all of the seemingly all state is not translated on the number 10 at the Vizhnat stage. Kojne Rishenya Chik Rivnyan, vibratsi strings, in the uni way to describe the svith, and everything will be right. Chi strings are similar to the krihitni gumki. They are also clinging, pulling, and clinging in all ways. Altse, 1. It does not mean that they cannot be made by the symphony of all sessions. Ace with the thread, on the thought of the strings of theorists, everything will be added up like that. Leonard Zeuskind, professor of theoretical fiction at Stanford University, I will obviously convey the fact that the real theory of strings is to describe the lack of real all things. The middle of the yakich is our all-time. Lisha one who got used to the correct physikoia for our form of life. The pit is about those like and what, the all-time setup is exactly like us. You can't explain the lack of speeches. But anti-speech, science cosmology, Yak Vivchai to the revolution, all sides in power, at the all-union Makbuti, the anti-speech is too much. Alinats Bradi at the sight of all parts, I just don't. The shield is a virtual paradox. The Canadian Institute of Theoretical Physics set the theory of the mirror Vasesvit. Vidpovit to the time of the theory, our all-in-kind boot is more than the 2-day adders of the parallel SWAT. The new model of the Pervabasho, like the hour of the great Vibuhu, has 2 symmetric Vashesviti. In one, their Demi is alive, an hour of singing in our way, and the next, Zerkalni, having become such a Shvidkistu Vidalyati at a minute. Having made all the bet, the Fiziki made the Visnovka. Andy Vesvit, my booty, is notoriously similar to ours. Al does not have a precise copy. I will say at the end that the multi-Vesvit itself is not new. Preblad old-fashioned news religni textures from the end of the decals of the lack of parallel svitiv. Such is the demni of the Greeks, Stverjuvali, without a few svitiv, Rosi at the same non-naksheni empty. It's a pity that I can't do it with an experimental hat, and I can't do it. For hers, parallel sviti is new Lishayak mathematical models. One particular fact that the multivesvit itself does not need to be a pseudo-scientific domal, and the subject of superfi of science, Kyle and hers, is the most intense thing. Do you know Chto? Star, in the plots of my video about turning from the supercontinent Pangaea, a bow experiment with a 1-hour Vibuk of nuclear in space. You should be the enemy of the real hour in parallel switches and Vipodkovo to go to the head of the mutual control. Right at the Republic's own people, like your thought, are all Russian nature incentives. I like a hitter, a child like a hit.